is Beth with Spurtle and Trivet. You may remember that I had a lot of egg whites left over from making the puddings, so I wanted to tell you today about a good way to use egg whites, and what makes that work is that proteins are awesome. So I'm going to make today hazelnut meringues. I got the recipe from a friend. And what happens is that the egg whites are whipped up and they're full of air, and then the proteins hold that air to make a foam. And you end up with these light, fluffy meringues. We start with 4 egg whites left over from the pudding, and we put in a pinch of cream of tartar, which you may remember from a previous video is an acid. So we beat for about a minute on high. Now that it's starting to get white, we add a half a cup of sugar, kind of slowly. So I'm going to push it into the mixing bowl from my mise en place with a spoon. We beat that for about 5 minutes, which is how long it will take until medium peaks form. What happens is that the proteins in the egg white are aligning themselves with each other in order to cause a stiffer texture than there was previously in the liquid egg whites. The cream of tartar helps with that as an acid because it changes the pH of the environment that the proteins are in, and it gives them a different amount of charge. It allows them to be more friendly with each other, pretty much. Now that you can definitely see the tracks that the beater is making in the egg whites, we start to add the powdered sugar. And we don't want to upset the structure that's been forming. And that's why we use a smaller granulation of sugar so that the crystals of sugar don't harm the structure that we've made in all of this beating. Now we give it 8 minutes. The reason that during this process the egg whites go from the clear, slightly yellow to white is because of the amount of air bubbles that are being incorporated into the egg whites. And just like in a bubble bath or when you're washing dishes, you can't see through all of those bubbles. And that's the same thing that's happening here. You can't see through all those bubbles, and that's why the mixture looks good. Now you see the stiff peaks are there, and they do not move when we move the beater. So that means we're ready to mix in the hazelnut butter that's for this recipe specifically. And if you don't want to mix in hazelnut butter, you can just use this egg white stuff as your meringues, and they will be delicious. We very carefully transfer our egg white fluff into this large bowl for folding. And you can gently fold in anything you want to have in your meringues. The important part of today's lesson is the awesomeness of proteins and the effect of pH on protein awesomeness. Little scoops of meringue. After 2 hours at 200 degrees, the meringues are done, so we'll pull them out of the oven. Look how beautiful they are. Thank you for watching Spurtle and Trivet. I hope you learned something and come back again. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Let me know. Thank you.